So when I speak of Spanky, it's so funny to me because this guy is one of those guys you could just hit a note on the keyboard or hit multiple notes on the keyboard, and he could be over in another part of the room or outside, and he'll tell you every note you just hit on the keyboard. Those are the type of guys that I'm working with, guys that are geniuses, guys that can write music just from listening to it one time and then putting it on paper.
No. So like, tell me a little bit about like, because like I was saying, like I heard of you when I was in middle school and high school, like because you were considered like basically the boy wonder and stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I was the boy wonder, but truthfully, I hated being the boy wonder.
Did you hate it?
Yeah, I hated it, man. Sometimes I wish I didn't have it. Call somebody else and then calling on me. Sometimes I'd be in the bed sleep. We need you to play. I have to lean up out my bed and what the hell y'all want? We need you to show me this part. And knowing I don't want to do it, but I do it anyway. But yeah, in high school, middle school, some cats, still kind of hate me for it to this day.
Really?
Yeah, man, some cats hated me. And be like, what pitch is it, because I usually tell them the pitch of a pop can. Or, what note does your bath water run? Or,
you got perfect pitch.
Yeah, what note is it when you drop your book on the floor?
Dude, I hate you for that.
You see what I'm saying? Somebody always want to kick my ass already.
Okay, we gotta have that. Everyone's got to see, everyone's drum goes down like that together as an ensemble. That's the little things that separating us from OC. They're not doing the little things. We have to do the little things. We have to march well, we have to look good, everyone has the same step size, same step control. Yes, Rob?
Count 4.
See. 4, 1. Yep. Good job, Robert.
The thing with having a community line with people who live in the community that it's based at is the fact that you're able to hang out, you're able to communicate and become more closer with your fellow drummers. And in that way, you can get like a sense of communication that you don't really see with people you hang out with.
The thing with Northern Alliance is, or with, at least for me, is it's a family. And you can't get this anywhere else. You can't get this type of bonding and this type of just family commitment together anywhere else. I've tried, I mean in school or in clubs and stuff, I'm involved in multiple extracurricular activities at school. I'm in college, I go to Washington State University, Vancouver. And I mean in high school I was really involved too, but I've never felt the family atmosphere the way I feel with these guys. And this is the first year that I've been the only girl on the line. So it's a nice change of pace. I would like to have more females in the line. And the thing with this is if you want your child to be an amazing drummer and to get anywhere in the drumline, drum corps industry, you just need to be in this line.
when you're pushing each other, that's one thing that's about this. When you're in a high school line or you're doing this drumming on a level or you're by yourself, it's self-motivation. And there's a lot of self-motivation here, but when somebody comes into the picture and they're pushing that to the next level, and then somebody else is pushing that to the next level, you have no choice but to either move up or get swallowed up. And that's one thing about this line that's great, in another sense, that everybody pushes everybody to get to that higher level, and it's just continuous, You've got this guy pushing, and then next week that guy's pushing, and then next week that guy's pushing. So it's just constant. It's the way drumming should be.
to Fort Vancouver High School, and that's where I kind of got to, learn the basics. And it wasn't, it was a high school, drumline, so, I guess, like, we really didn't care so much up here normally, like, the determination, desire you see down there in those big drum lines. So, we came to, Darwin, and this little drum line he has going on, and man, it's just tremendous. The passion, just wanting to be the best, and you got to work for it, And, I played bass drum here, the first bass drum, and it's just, this drum line, what I've seen, has a lot of challenges, but people don't get, brought down because of that. Like, guys drop in and out because, they just don't want to push hard enough, or, they just, let the line down. But, you just got to keep pushing forward. And, one day this will be, this drum line will be known. And we're getting there, doing shows and parades, trying to do whatever we can, raise money. But, we're just trying to be the best. And Darwin, man, he knows what he's doing, And,
So, like, of all the instruments that you play, like you said, you do marimba or guitar or, bass drum and stuff, what is, like, for you, like, the hardest one, the biggest challenge? Because you have to play them totally different.
Yeah.
I look at bass drum and you're playing all sideways and just this
Yeah.
monster of a drum in front of you. So, like, how do you deal with going from, one instrument to the next?
It's a big change at first because, it's a completely different technique. You got, your rotation from the wrist in a sideways motion on the bass drum versus, on set, it's more, up and down and all around, kind of going crazy. So I try to apply my bass drum skills and the rudiments and what I learned here and the precision that you learn marching in a drum line. I try and transfer that over to my drum set, make some intricate fills and stuff like that. Overall, I would say most challenging for me was learning to play the bass drum because it was just, I guess, a culture shock, if you will, for my hands as far as technique goes. They're so used to just kind of untaught whatever I was able to teach myself as far as sticking on the drum set, and then all of a sudden if your hand is 3/4 of an inch too far away or whatever, that's wrong. So getting very precise with it, and so yeah, I'd say that's definitely the biggest what do you say, the biggest difficulty I had to overcome was just transferring my chops on drum set over to bass drum.
Well, it also seems like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like in the bass drum line, you almost have to be tighter as a group because a lot of times.
Yeah. Definitely. You have to know your beats. You have to know everyone else's beats. Because if I got Robert or any of my bass drummers, not just Robert, just first one comes to mind. But if we got people in the bass drum line ticking, you have to hear the beats in your head as well, like the missing beats that they didn't play. Otherwise, your whole line's just gonna go down. You're gonna lose time. You're gonna lose the feel of the music, and it's just gonna drag and train wreck.
Basically, my part is to play along with the 3 other bass drummers, Antonio, Brian, and Robert. Us together as a group, I would have to say, is a very strong bond and everything, because in 4th bass drums, you would have to be stuck together to be able to play splits and doing triplets, everybody having their own beat and everything, playing weird rhythms that really the snares, and the tenors don't really play.
Without, I think, NA and teaching me just the understanding of rudiments and all that, what really matters, you cannot really express your knowledge of percussion without going through the original basics of percussion the old-fashioned way.
You used to be in the pit, and now you're doing cymbals, like, because once again, that's like a drastic change of instruments. So like, what's the toughest to you, and how do you deal with that? Because cymbals are heavy as hell, and you're doing all this crap.
Well, I carry the lightest cymbals. I only carry 14s, which are actually hi-hat cymbals.
I started playing 18s, which are pretty light, and then when I moved to 20s, I'm like, this is really gonna suck. Those things are like probably 5 pounds a piece. Having to hold them up for 6 hours just kills my arms.
But it's still kind of, it's the lightest instrument in the line. But the hardest part for me was the marching, because in pit you don't march.